Hey everybody, this is Dark Side of Lee here, and I just got up. I just been roaming around on the internet, seeing what the heck's been going on. But this has been something I've been hearing, and a lot of people have been hitting it on Facebook and even on Twitter. I haven't really been looking deeply at Twitter, but I know it's there. Um, there's an article out about there was an article about a week or two ago about Henry Cavill that there's a possibility that they're going to move forward with a younger version of Superman, and they're going to try to do the Robert Pattinson with this younger actor as Superman and try to give us another version of Justice League. Um, this video is going to talk about more about one half of that situation, and then I'm going to get in contact with Hawk and see if we want to sit down and talk about this whole situation. It's going to be probably one of our longest rants about it, but two things. Actually, I'm sorry, one thing. I'm just gonna hit on is Superman. Can WB do a relevant Superman movie? Here's the answer. No, they can't. And here's the reason why. Because the fans are fickle and stupid. Okay, we did already have a relevant Superman, a modern take of Superman. Zack Snyder did a very good modern take of Superman. He was building up from the ground floor up. People were not ready for it. They were pissed off. They listened to jerk journalists and idiot bloggers instead of looking at the character and hearing and understanding their arc. A lot of the fans who say that, oh, I didn't like the BVS version of Superman. Well, did you watch the Ultimate version? If they say no, then they didn't get the whole freaking story. Man of Steel was a modern take of Superman. It was. It was talking about, hey, this guy has powers. He's been living his life in sheltered this whole time, and now he's trying to figure out can he use his powers, and is the world ready for it? Not everybody is going to accept Superman. He's not that type of a character that garners people to want to basically just join him in the sun. Not everybody likes Superman. People like Batman more than Superman. Some people like Wonder Woman more than Superman. That's perfectly fine. And that tells to you the relevancy of the characters. Okay? Because two things. The reasoning why Superman is irrelevant to today's audience is because people have heard so many bad things in the world and there's not many good stories. And I'm not talking about in comics. I mean in real life. And the problem that people have with Man of Steel is it was a self-reflection in the mirror towards them, and the fact that they're not gonna like this version of Superman, that they basically got angry over it. Now, myself and Hawk, we talk a lot about our personal things about certain movies. Hawk is very, very stout about what he wants and what he believes in, and that's perfectly fine. That's why he and I mesh very, very well. I can bend, I can flex, but if something completely derodes the core of the character, then I'm going to be very, very upset. Changing the sex or the color of a character does not make the character better. It doesn't. All it does is just make the character completely different. All right? You got to get down to the core of the character. And what Zach did is he didn't change the core of Superman. He never did. All he did is he gave us Clark Kent, and he put him in situations that showed to us that he is Superman. He stood up for a woman when she was getting physically molested by a bar idiot. And what did he do? He tore the guy's car apart because he basically poured beer in his face, and he threw a beer can at him. Yes, he didn't feel it, but you also got to realize something. He's a man. He's a person. He's not just some automaton that basically gets punished. Okay, he just push it off. No, he feels that every single time. When people insult him, he's not going to just smile and walk away. No person does that. It hurts him slowly, bit by bit by bit. He wants to be able to punch this person. He wants to be able to push him to the side. He wants to basically put his hands on somebody so he can feel like he's taking control of his own life. That is what makes him, that's what makes what Zack Snyder did with this version of Clark Kent to make it relevant to us, because we all feel that. We all feel that when people push us around, we want to push back. Grinning and bearing and walking away, in some ways, does not make you the better person. It really doesn't. It just makes you feel like you're a doormat. All right, everybody can be able to, at some times, walk away from certain situations and just go, it's not worth it. But if Clark has been consistently his whole life been always walking away, at one point or another, it's going to get to him. It's going to make him. It's going to. It's like a rubber band. At one point, it's going to break. And when he became Superman, and he's fighting in Smallville for the first time. That's him fighting for the first time against two very powerful and very skilled individuals. Fiora tossed him all over the place. She dominated him, and no one talked about it. No one talked about it. Fiora completely dominated Superman in a fight. And I would say right off the bat, if she fought him even in BVS, it would still not change. He would give her a better challenge, but she would still toss him all over the place. She is a martial arts, she's a physical martial fighter. She's a trained soldier. The only reason why Zod gave him a bigger problem is because he was getting understanding of his own powers. But he was still a martial fighter. He knew how to fight. Clark has never thrown a punch his whole life. Never. And people are getting only a third of the story. Actually, at one point, they're only getting a fifth of the story. So how in the world are you going to sit there and say that Zack Snyder screwed up Superman? We got the whole arc of Captain America and Iron Man and Thor, and I'm going to sit here and say it. Marvel screwed up on Thor. Marvel messed up on Captain America. Marvel messed up on Iron Man. They messed them up because they were hitting notes to make you have to feel the character in certain arcs that made absolutely no sense. But I don't want to get into that. And I'm going to try to, and when me and Hawk sit down, we're going to try not to get into Marvel. This is about DC. And the reasoning why fans are getting pissed off that WB made this announcement that Superman is irrelevant to today's audience, and they don't know if they can make a better Superman film. A lot of them are coming out saying, yeah, you can just make a modern day version of Donner's version, or just make an updated version of Superman Returns, or this or this. You're coming up with ideas, but you're not coming up with a story plan. All you're doing is coming up with ideas. Come up with a story plan. And also, here's the thing. You can't just think that everyone's going to know that this version of Superman is the same. If you keep making a Chris Reeves version of Superman, we're all going to go back to 1977 Chris Reeves Superman. What makes this Superman different than all the other Supermen? We know Dean Cain's version of Superman is a different version of Superman. We know Tom Welling's version of Superman is a different version of Superman because we got their backstory. We know the only one is the same version is Brandon Routh's and Christopher Reeves. They're the only movie version of Superman we ever got. But you can even look at the new version of Superman in the movie, in the animated. It's a different version of Superman. It's not the same version. It's not. And if you get those animated writers to write you a modern their version of Superman in a live action, it will be almost a dead exact to Man of Steel Zack Snyder's Superman. It'll be almost dead on exact. The only thing that'll be different is the fact that he will look different. He'll probably be younger, and his backstory will probably be a little bit different. But he'd be a dead on version of Zack Snyder's Superman. Because Zack Snyder built his Superman off of post-death, New 52, and a little bit of a rebirth. So he is that classic Superman that we know, but taken in a more modern version. There was nothing wrong with Zack Snyder's writing on Superman. Nothing. He was building it up from the ground floor to give us an understanding of this Superman has been sheltered almost his whole life. He never had the full wisdom of Jor-El since he was 16 years old. He didn't go to the Arctic and create the Fortress of Solitude and spent close to 20 years with Jor-El, which is a MacGuffin. Because if he had all that knowledge, there's no need for the Justice League. There is truly no need for the Justice League. He is that powerful. Chris Reeves Superman is that powerful. He doesn't need Wonder Woman. He doesn't need Batman. He doesn't need Aquaman. He doesn't need nobody. He could take care of it all. That was the whole purpose of Superman Returns. He was flying instantly from every portion of the earth, taking care of every situation. Why in the hell would he need the Flash? Why in the heck would he need the Justice League? It's Superman. He could do whatever the heck he wants. But this version of Superman, the way he wrote this version of Superman, he grounded Superman to make it work. Yes, he's very powerful, but he's not a detective. He's not a martial arts master. He's not the master of the sea. He doesn't have an army at his disposal. He's not the fastest man on earth, and he doesn't have all the technical prowess. Or he doesn't have a crackerjack ring to make whatever construct he wants. But if you put the Christopher Reeves version of Superman in front of this version of Justice League, dude, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need him. He's going to, no, I don't need you guys. He'll take care of it all. Steppenwolf would be a joke. He'll turn him inside out and walk away. Like he did in the movie. But there was a reasoning why Zack Snyder wrote this Superman different. Because at the end of the day, it's about taking a leap of faith on people. And Batman alliterated that. We stumble, we fall, we kill each other. But we have room to grow. We have a room to change, not be so rigid in our concepts. And it was a self-reflection onto other people. That's the reason why I became more flexible in what I see of what a lot of directors are doing. I may not like what Matt Reeves is doing, the casting that Matt Reeves is doing for Batman, but I'm willing to see what he's going to do. Same goes for the Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I don't like most of the casting in it. It doesn't fit. But I'm willing to at least give Kathy Yan an opportunity to tell me what is this? And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's what is this? What are you trying to tell me? The trailers for Man of Steel made my mind melt. I was very happy. He showed me how powerful Superman is, but he also showed the humanity of Superman. And a lot of people are like, well, they don't understand that in the 1950s, Hawk has said it numerous times. Superman is a jerk. He is a jerk. Case in point, train about to hit a little boy. A train's about to derail, kill over 50 people. He's right there stopping it. The moment a bad guy's about to pull a gun on Lois, he goes, huh? Lois is in trouble. He will literally drop the train and fly off. This is 1950s Superman. He will fly away, go save Lois, and take her home. Or take her to the planet. And they'll discuss what's going on. Good grief. Are you kidding me? That's what he does. He will drop everything to save Lois. And that was the one thing that Zack Snyder showed at the very beginning of BVS. Other than not the very beginning, but like the first scene with Lois. The moment Lois got herself in trouble, what did Superman do? He flew in, took care of the situation, and flew away. Did not realize the ramifications of his actions. That was what Superman has been doing for close to 40 years with Lois Lane. He will drop whatever he's doing. If a building's on fire, he'd be in the middle of trying to blow it out. The moment Lois falls off a freaking truck, he flies over. He'll stop what he's doing, fly over, and save her. You don't know what happened to the rest of the situation. You just move on to the next strip. But the context of it is he dropped what he was doing and he flew over to help Lois. He didn't care. I'm not saying the number one thing is, and I think even Hawk will agree with me, and I'll even reiterate it to him. We're not saying take away his Boy Scout. But you also got to realize that Superman can be good, but the world around him cannot be good. And that makes him shine more as a hero. It makes him shine brighter as a hero. Because that means he's willing to put his own life on the line. That sounds kind of familiar in BVS. He put his life on the line for a world that does not want him. And I don't mean, and the thing is, the world. It doesn't mean just a significant amount of people. It's the world. The amount of people in the world overrides the other people that don't want him. You got some people in the military that don't want him around. They don't like him. You got subsects being built because of Superman, because Superman's there. The anti Superman task force, and that's a subsidiary government underneath our own government. Superman doesn't even know this. Batman does. He keeps an eye on it, but that's Batman. You got alien species that don't like the Kryptonians, and they'll come down here and they'll try to kill him. But that's part of the different levels of storylines. But everybody is sitting here throwing out, oh, we want Brainiac. Oh, I want Bizarro Superman. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. No, the best villain that they did in Man of Steel was Zod. Zod is the best villain, and people are mad because he killed him. That doesn't mean that he can't be brought back. It doesn't mean that he cannot be brought back. There's plethora of ways they could have brought back Zod. And I can give you one right here and now. It's easy. The moment the whole situation with the Doomsday, with the abomination / Doomsday of Zod's through Zod's body, Darkseid takes it, and he fixes it, because remember, Desaad is a genetic genius. He knows how to create. He's the one who creates the freaking parademons. Yes, they could touch and create them by their own technology, but someone had to create the technology to do it. Because again, the new gods are not gods. They are techno gods. Their power is on the plethora of their technology. Darkseid and the High Father, they get their power from the source and the Omega effect. So they're on a completely different level. But all the new gods their powers revolve around their technology. All of them, except the higher gods, which is Darkseid and High Father. But Desaad dissects out the body and creates and basically brings back Zod. You could easily do it. It won't be. Some people might consider it stupid, but in a realm of science, it wouldn't be stupid, because his DNA is still Zod. He can regress all that crap that Lex did to him with the reanimation, and put his body back to the way it used to be and bring him back to life. I mean, come on. Also, you gotta realize, Superman was completely dead. He was dead, and they used a mother box to bring him back to life. What can't say the same for Zod? You can bring him back. Easy. And imagine, Darkseid has Zod under his thrall. It gets him mentally prepared. Lets him learn about his powers a lot more effectively. Zod would be a dangerous adversary for Kal-El, Superman. It wouldn't matter. He'd be a dead man. And all Darkseid has to do is open up a portal, open up the door to the Phantom Zone using a Phantom projector, a Phantom Drive projector. He could figure it out. Desaad could. So could Baron Wunderbar. And maybe even Granny. They're not slouches when it comes to technology. They understand. They can figure it out. So there's plethora of ways by using the story that Zack presented to easily bring back a lot of these villains. Zod is one of them. You could easily bring back Zod. But people didn't want to think about it. They're just like, hey, that's not my job. Your job as the audience is to build the universe in your mind, but keep it subtle and keep it simple so you can be entertained while watching it. Because you're going, oh my God, this is what he's building. Not put fan fiction into the head and make it go into a weird tangent that makes absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever. People are trying to bring in Brainiac, and I'm like, how? How would that work? That means the universe has to know that there's the last son of Krypton. How? If you're gonna if you're gonna reboot the whole thing, that means that somebody or something made it brought the link that the last son of Krypton's on Earth for Brainiac to go, hey, wait a minute, go to Earth. Unless you're gonna recreate the whole thing in the Superman the animated series, which makes no sense because Brainiac is not a sentient AI on Krypton. They actually gave him a strong backstory that he is a biological life form that made himself into a cyborg from the planet Clou. I'm sorry, Clou. Forgot how you pronounce it. He's an alien. He's not Kryptonian. And he's sure as hell not a Kryptonian device. He's not created by Jor-El or his father or his grandfather. Oh my God. It's really stupid. Fans out here are getting very upset over the fact that WB pretty much just told them to their faces that because you didn't like Man of Steel, we can't make a relevant Superman. And then they're sitting there talking about, yes, you can, blah, 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 blah. And now they're talking about they want to replace Henry Cavill because of this. Because you know why? They want to go back to Chris Reeves Superman. They want to. But you don't want that. I don't want that. Because you already gave us a good, strong story in what the picture of here is. Man of Steel. You did a really good job with it. Really good job with it. The WB screwed over Zack Snyder. You can say, oh, I don't like Zack Snyder. That's fine. I don't like the Russos. I think they're hacks. I think James Gunn is a hack himself. But it doesn't matter. Other people appreciate their films. Jeez. It's not hard. It is very easy to create a modern version of Superman. But nobody's going to like it. Because they want happy-go-lucky Superman. They're like, oh, make it fun. What do you mean by make it fun? Fun is subjective. It is. What you consider fun is not what everyone else considers as fun. And that's the reason why people fight on positive and negative on Man of Steel. Because they don't know, they're not understanding what Zack was trying to build. And I'm not going to add in Justice League, and I'm not adding in BVS, I'm not adding in Justice League 2 and 3. I'm just saying Man of Steel, the story of Superman. They didn't understand it. The ones that didn't like it, they did not understand it. They never did understand it. Because in their heads, they're either Superman, the animated series, or Chris Reeves Superman. That's it. That's all they wanted. And they're too cowardly to actually say it. I want Chris Reeves Superman. Okay. Go watch the 1978 Superman. Go watch that. He goes, well, Tyler Hecker did a good job because that's the Chris Reeves Superman. It is. He does the same gimmick as that version of Superman. Dean Cain did it. Tom Welling in some ways did it, but he was trying to get himself away from that. That's why I'm hoping to God, if we get introduced to him in Crisis on Infinite Earths, he is not that version of Superman. He is not that version of Clark Kent. I wanted to be different. Because in the multiverse, it is a completely different Superman. How in the hell can it be the same exact Superman? Same exact values, same exact. No, things change. People change. You can have a Superman that had the same backstory as the 78, as the 77, and then when they get older, they completely change their whole mindset about how the Earth is. It's not the same. Just because his name is Clark does not mean that he's gonna be the same exact person. The reasoning why Superman has been irrelevant is because they kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. How would you like getting up, eating cereal, going to work, and then coming home, eating dinner, going to sleep, wake up, eat the same cereal, same milk, going to work, doing the same thing over and 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 over again? It becomes repetitive. It becomes boring. It becomes you actually get tired faster. By doing different things, eating different things, you actually have spice in your life. It makes Superman more relevant. The relevancy of Superman has to be there. The reason why Batman has been such a staple point for so long is you always get with Batman, he either teeters with becoming full blown a psychopathic murderer, or he's actually like the Adam West Batman. Or he's right dead in the middle where he's supposed to be. He's that firm line. That's what I believe Batman is. He's the firm line. He's the firm line. Because if you cross it, he will go after you. And he will do whatever it takes to try to save Gotham. He will do whatever he has to do to save Gotham. He won't break the law, but he will break the law because that's what he's doing. He's a vigilante. But he's still a hero. And I will make a video about Robert Pattinson's words about Batman not being a hero. I have a long thing to say about that. I might even put that with myself and Hawk. But I can tell you right here and right now, the reasoning why Superman is not relevant is because the fans won't let go of Chris Reeves Superman. They won't. They will never let him go. Listen, I love Chris Reeves Superman. I grew up on the Chris Reeves Superman. But I'm willing to let that go to see a new version of Superman that I can appreciate even more. I like Dean Cain's version, but he was corny. I like Tom Welling's version, but the whole storyline was off. I can appreciate Smallville. I don't like a lot of it. Michael Rosenbaum was the center of that whole show. The moment he left, the show went completely pfft. And then when they introduced the younger version of Zod, I actually liked younger version of Zod. Major Zod, that whole arc to me was really good. Really good. And I'll get into that in possibly another video. But what made me like Man of Steel is because Zack Snyder hit the hallmarks of what makes Clark different. He's been sheltered by his mother and father. But his parents have been trying to show to him that you have these great powers. You can hurt people. Is that the type of person you want to be? When he was getting bullied outside of the welding place, his dad walked over, the kids walked away, Pete Ross picked him up, lifted him up, showed some level of compassion, and walked away because Pete Ross realized that this kid can actually sneeze and my head will go away. He'll sneeze my skin off me. I'm good. And his dad walked over and said, "Hey, are you okay?" He says, "You know I'm okay." He goes, "No, no, no. Are you okay?" He knows that he's physically fine. He's talking about his mentality. He goes, "I want to hurt him. I wanted to hurt that kid. He's sick and tired of being pushed around. He's sick and tired of being bullied." And his dad flat out tells him, "I know you could do it. I know you can easily take care of this kid. You can easily dispatch him. But is that the person you want to be? Is that the person that when you get knocked over, you fight back? when you know that you can easily do it, that you could become the bully yourself. Those are strong words. People didn't understand what the hell he's talking about. He was trying to show to his kid, and that's any man trying to talk to his son who's getting bullied. And he knows his kid can actually punch this kid's throat out because he taught him martial arts. But he's telling him, like, dude, is that the person you want to be? Because whatever you do after you become 18, whatever you do, you're going to change the world. And how are you going to change it? Number one question was him saving the kids. He think, listen, if it was in 1978, his parents would be happy. They'd be like, oh wow, you saved the kids, blah, blah. But that's 1978, and that's supposed to be back in the 1940s. Of course, who the hell cares? But in modern day, are you kidding me? With the way government is right now, you got government, you got cell phones. You got people in middle America that believe in religiousness than anything else, and they see a kid able to basically lift a truck over his head with one finger. You really think that those people in that city or in that town is gonna just basically they're not gonna revere him? Yes, that was the point of Pete Ross's mom. She says it's providence. We need to tell everybody. They're sitting there going, oh boy. And you're telling me that makes no sense, or that's not what would happen? Yes, it would happen. You're talking about Kansas, middle America, probably the heartstone of Christian America, and you're telling me that they're not gonna either revere him as a god, or they're gonna try to call the government to get this monstrosity out of their town? Of course. But you saw at the very end of BVS, when he died, who was at his funeral? That whole town was. That town knew that he was Superman, and they didn't care. In a bad way. They cared in a good way. They didn't care. They went there and said, "No, he's a hero, and he's been here this whole time, and he didn't lord it over us. He kept himself secret because that it's not because we weren't ready for it. We were not ready. The world was at the time was not ready for that type of a person. They would have tried. The government would have tried to stop him. Would have tried to kill him. Figured out the way to try to kill him. That's just the way it is. It's the way it is. It's the harshness of life. It's the harshness of the world it is. And if a modern day Superman was here, we would try to kill him. Because we'll be so afraid, is this person going to try to lord over us? And how can we stop him? And it bothers me down to my core that people are getting upset and they're screaming out that W don't know what the hell they're talking about. I was like, no, they do, because they watched you guys complain, bitch, and moan. Pardon my French. You moaned and complained about Zack Snyder can't do a proper story. Man of Steel sucks. You listen to bloggers. You listen to morons on YouTube who complain that Man of Steel was a crap fest, and you give them views. You give them substance. When others are trying to tell you, no, dude, do you understand what the hell he was doing? The core of the movie was to present a question to you. Basically, is Superman relevant? Can a modern day take of Superman survive? No. You said no. You don't want this. You want Marvel Superman. That's what you want. You want that slapstick, happy-go-lucky Superman that has no character, that's wooden as a board, has no substance. The only substance that you get is the situation that's there and presented in front of you. You get nothing. And I'm not disrespecting what Richard Donner did back in 1978, but that level of writing is wooden here in today's levels of understanding and writing. We evolved our writing. The reasoning why Marvel is successful, and this is my last touch on Marvel, hopefully, is the fact that they did exactly what I said in the prior. What they did is they gave us a Captain America. They put him in positions to say this is how Captain America is. And then by the time you get to Civil War, you go, okay, that's Captain America. But the core of Captain America's character is he does the right thing regardless. And he stands up for the right. So why in the hell would he even consider signing the Sokovia Accords? Why would he want to? He knows that means that every superhero has to give up their secret identity. That means they have to reveal themselves. That means that they have no privacy to themselves. They are on a government payroll. And you just presented in the prior movie, Winter Soldier, that the government was infiltrated by Hydra. And you don't know if Hydra is completely gone. And you're willing to give up your friends, your family, and even future heroes to a government that's willing to do whatever it takes for their stuff, for what they want. Because the United States government is only going to think about the United States. And they say, oh, it's supposed to be the world government. That's even worse. That means you're creating a police force. And that's not what the Avengers are. They are not a police force. Tony is just scared. He's scared that this is not. No, who the hell cares? That's not what the Avengers is about. That's not what they were built for. The Avengers were built to take care of threats. Any threat that comes near them, they take care of it. If it's something out of the normal that the government cannot take care of, they take care of it. But now you're relegating them down to being a police force. And they have no privacy. And that's my last take on Marvel. Hopefully that's my last take on Marvel. And that's what, actually, I'm sorry. And that's why I didn't respect what they did to Captain America. You built him up to move past Peggy Carter. You presented Sharon Carter in front of him. They actually looked good together. Chris Evans and I'm sorry, the young lady that plays Sharon. They have this budding chemistry that you could build nice and slow. It's stewing. And then you basically at the very end of Endgame go, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to have him go off with Peggy Carter and go on his own Merry Avengers. What? You teased us with the Sharon Carter and Steve Rogers relationship, which is canon, which is part of Marvel's stories, but said, nope, we're going to go with Margaret Carter and Steve Rogers. Screw you. Too bad, so sad. Wow. It's ludicrous. But fans are upset that Superman had to kill. Superman killed Zod. That's not what Superman does. Are you kidding me? He killed him in freaking Superman 2. They had to clean it up with that goofy ending where they basically put him in handcuffs and put him away. That is the most 1940s ending I have ever seen. Superpowered enemies got depowered and now they get handcuffed and thrown in jail. What? I would have threw him back in the Phantom Zone. I'm like, no, get rid of him. Stupid. He was presented with a choice. Save this family or kill Zod. He didn't want to kill Zod. He didn't want to kill the last vestige of his people. He didn't want to. But he had to make a choice. And he made a choice to stand for the world. And he stood for the world. But he didn't have his true core values yet. He didn't understand that by flying in and then taking care of everything and flying off, that's kind of stupid. He's taking care of problems that basically we should be able to take care of. Now, I'm not saying that Lois should have died or those people in that city should have died. But Superman should have been flying in going, hey, what the hell's going on here? Assess the situation before he blew up the freaking the drone. Or he should have threw the drone off course and figure out what the hell was going on there. It's like people didn't really want to think. The movie gave great levels of tension. It gave a great story about Lex. That Lex was manipulating the world to hate Superman, and people are like, he's not Lex. Are you kidding me? That's a Lex plan. That's something Lex would easily do in the comics or in live action. He would easily be able to make the world hate Superman. And he flat out stated, I don't hate the person, I hate the sin. And he says, I don't hate you, him as a person. He just hates the fact that he's Superman. He hates the Superman, and he wants to prove that he is just as fallible. He's just as moral as anybody else, and his morals will be tested. Will he kill Batman for his mother, or allow his mother to die and try to save Batman? And Batman's hell bent to killing him. He thinks that Superman's a dangerous threat. So Superman's in this precarious position. He doesn't know what the F to do. And he's going, okay, he's doing the one thing that was taught to him in Man of Steel. Have a leap of faith. I need his help. I need Batman's help. Maybe he could be able to help me. And Batman wouldn't have it. He's like, nope, I'm done. He's going to try to kill me. All right, I'm going to have to stop him. But he's now going, I can finally be able to at least do something. Even when he was weak off the kryptonite, he still fought back. Because he was sick and tired of being pushed around. And it made sense. He was sick and tired of being pushed around by Batman. He was sick and tired of being pushed around by the world. He was sick and tired of being pushed around by Lex. And he fought back. And I'm not going to get into the whole Martha scene. I think it could be done a little bit better, yeah. But it was still a powerful scene that gave you an understanding that Superman was telling him, hey, all right, if you're going to kill me, but at least save my mom. Save Martha. And the funniest thing is, in over 80 years of both Batman and Superman has ever been around, no one knew that Martha Wayne, didn't piece that together. I knew that. And you had comic book people literally lambasting them for doing it and saying that how the heck are people going to realize that? That's your job. If you're going to be in the YouTube business and talk about comic books and talk about these movies and talk about this stuff, don't bring in your bias into the video and say that made absolutely no sense when that's been something that's been established for 80 years in comics. And even Zach put in the first section of the movie. When she died, what the heck was his father saying? Martha. So we can obviously say that, okay, that must be Martha Wayne. She's dead. Okay, we understand that. Again, I'm not disrespecting the movie. I'm just saying that I'm just being upset over the situation. And we now know that Clark's mother's name is Martha Kent. So I don't understand how people couldn't understand that, thought that was a stupid scene, and why their names are the same. Oh, so they're friends over their mother's same name. No, that's not what it was. It was to wake Batman up, to make him go, hey, save Martha. Because the last thing he remembers as a boy, as Bruce Wayne, is seeing his father reach out on his dying breath, trying to save his wife, and he says, Martha. That's the last memory Bruce Wayne had as a child, because the moment both his parents died, it was the birth of Batman. Snap, the birth of Batman. And he's been ruled by that death for his whole life. And then he got ruled by the anger and the frustration that he could never fix his city, and the death of Robin over the Joker, his war with the Joker, purged his city down into a sewer, worse than it's ever been. So he stopped being Batman, and then this whole thing with Superman showed up in BVS, and he just devolved himself further and further into spite and anger and rage, and started perverting the very creation he became. He became Batman to prevent things like this, and he is becoming that threat. And he didn't see Superman as he saw Superman more as a threat than a person that's trying to do the right thing. Yes, Superman made a lot of mistakes in BVS. He made a grand total of mistakes. But that's only because he at first believed that, no, I'm here to save people's lives. I'm here to do this and do this. But he doesn't understand the consequences of his actions. Because if you guys want that Superman to just flies in, saves a cat out of a tree, or fly in, stop the burglar, or fly in to stop a bank robber, then why the hell do we need a freaking military? Why the hell do we need a police force? Why the hell do we need a firefighting team? Superman can just do it all. Hence why consequences for your actions. That is the reason why I will always go back to Justice League. I will always go back to most other Superman films. He flies in and says, how can I help? What can I do? If the military is getting disposed by an opposition, Superman will fly over and land in front of the general and literally say, how can I help? No, we got this, Superman. Just get out of here. You're gonna have the other opposite general go, oh my gosh, Superman's over there. Whoa. But if Superman flies away, they're gonna go, okay, cool, keep attacking. They're gonna stop what the hell they're doing. They're like, no way, Superman's gonna fly. Dude, get our men out of there. He'll take us all out. No, get us out of there. While others are gonna be like, no, keep pressing on. Like, whatever. But the first thing Superman is always gonna ask is, how can I help? What can I do to help? But we didn't get that in BVS because this version of Superman didn't understand that. He didn't understand the consequences of his actions. He didn't. He was thinking he was helping everything. He was here to help. He was here to help and use his powers. I was fine with that. I understood that. And even in Justice League, I understood that. I completely understood that whole situation because it made sense. It made absolute sense. But we only got a half of the story. You only got a half of the story. Oh my God. So if you want my honest opinion, this is my honest, truest opinion. Who's truly to blame for Man of Steel and Henry Cavill possibly getting not getting any more Superman roles? You, the fans. You fans. Blame the YouTube fans that basically disrespected Man of Steel. And if they call themselves cinemaphiles, screw them. They don't understand cinema. They understand comic book cinema. You understand cinema. There's arcs. It's story arcs, character arcs. You can't just give us a fully fleshed out character in the first movie and think that we're all going to be acceptive of this. It's been done way too often. That's why Zack wanted to do a 5-movie arc. He was gonna give us the Justice League with Superman as the pivotal character of the whole arc. That was his plan. And you people got us robbed. And now WB does not know what to do with Superman. They don't know what to do. Hence why we got Tyler Hoechlin being the same exact Superman as Christopher Reeve. I am appreciative of Brandon Routh. I will shake his hand. I'm like, no, dude, you did a phenomenal job with Superman Returns. I believe you as Superman. I love him as Superman. Script sucked. Kevin Spacey was awesome as Lex. Script sucked. Sorry, script sucked. Bryan Singer just gave us the same thing as this Richard Donner version. It was the same type of writing, and it was ludicrous and stupid. Ludicrous and stupid. And now WB does not know what to do. They don't know what to do. So they're going to fall back to the low-hanging fruit, and they're going to go back to Chris Reeves Superman because they believe that that's how they're going to be able to make Superman more relevant to everybody again. Make him hokey dokey all over the place again. They're going to make him terrible. And we're going to be stuck with the same unevolved Superman. Anybody can say, "Oh, Tyler Hoechlin was a better Superman." How do you know? He got ducked by his cousin in one season, and we've never seen him try to be Superman. Never, ever. I saw more of Tom Welling be Superman than I've seen Tyler Hoechlin, and he was only Superman for 50 seconds. It is funny as hell. Again, if you guys want that, that is perfectly fine. If you want Chris Reeves Superman, admit it. Just come out and say it. Don't be cowards. Just say, no, I want Chris Reeves Superman. That's what I want. And stand firm on it. Don't sit there and back go, well, the Superman I want has to be fun and you know, I want to give you know, I just want this and this. No, you want Chris Reeves Superman. Come out and say it. Just come out and say it. I want Chris Reeves Superman. Well, Chris Reeves is dead. I'm sorry. He's gone. And Brandon Routh is not going to put on the suit. And if you give a younger version, a younger actor to portray another Chris Reeves Superman, it's not going to do very well. Okay. Fans are going to love it. Critics are going to love it. But the problem is, it's going to get forgotten. No one's going to care. All they're going to care about is, okay, now put Batman and Superman together. That's all I want. So basically, you guys are the director. You're not letting the writers or the directors dictate how they should be able to tell their stories. These are not director-driven stories anymore. It's fan-driven. And there needs to be a firm balance. A good, strong, firm balance. No, I understand that most of the people in the circle for the Snyder Cut movement are not going to talk about this. Like I said, this channel is made for me giving you my opinions. Okay, I'm not here to shake your hand or tell you it's going to be okay or you know or pander. I'm telling you my personal opinion, and the same goes for Hawk. Hawk will tell you his personal opinion. If it's hot s on a hot day, hot smelly s on a hot day, it's hot sweaty mess on a hot day. I'm sorry, that's what it is. That's how we feel. That's our opinions. But we both love Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. I love Batman versus Superman. Both cuts. I love the Ultimate Cut way more than I love the freaking theatrical cut because you got more of Superman. You got more of Clark. You got understandings of a lot of things going on. But who do I blame? I blame the fans. I blame the fans. I'm sorry, not fans. I blame the general audience. And I blame negative YouTubers who don't understand cinema. They don't understand cinema. Because Zack came out and said the only way to make a Superman better is you have to break him down to his core elements. You have to break him down and rebuild his character from the ground floor up. Because not many people are going to understand that right off the bat. Like, he gets all this right off the bat. Somebody goes, well, it's Superman. What? So what? I don't care about that. So he gets the understanding of all of his powers in that short of a time, and that's okay. What the f? Ugh. Okay. Now let's get on about an hour. I don't want this to be too long, but yeah, this is my rant. WB screwed up Zack Snyder. They're so confused on what to do. And if you bring J.J. Abrams into this and have him do Superman, you're just going to get Chris Reeves Superman all over again. It's going to look phenomenal. I'm not going to say that. But the storyline is going to be bland. The whole script and the story will be bland. It's going to be forgotten. People are going to go right back to Man of Steel and say, man, that's a much better script. And I guarantee he's going to start wars. It's going to start flame wars. People are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? That story's a whole lot better. How? Because Superman is Superman. That's not a good argument. The sun is hot because it's the sun, right? Yeah, well, that's a bland argument. We already know that. Superman is Superman. Yeah, we know that. But that doesn't mean that the script is phenomenal. That means the script is bland. It's stupid. It's a stupid straw man argument. That's pretty much what it is. You just want to start wars over this. You don't want an evolved Superman. You don't want a deep rooted Superman. You just want superficial Superman that just he was already created. He's super mega powerful. So then when you get the Justice League, it just now you have to depower Superman just to make everyone else look good. No, you don't have to do that. Yes, you do, because why the heck would first of all, why the heck would he need anybody? He'll get it done. He'll get it all done. He doesn't need anybody. Well, he's not faster than a Flash. It doesn't matter. You don't need the Flash's speed. Flash is going to move as fast as Superman can fly. Superman can just move that fast. Why the heck would you need the Flash? Flash is not going to go light speed. He's going to go he's going to go Mach 3. That's it. He's not going to go mega Mach speeds. Why? He'll destroy the planet. Because the sonic boom he can do can destroy a freaking city block. Hence why he doesn't go those mega levels of speeds. He doesn't do it. The sonic boom is enough to destroy everything. Why the heck would he need Wonder Woman? He's more powerful than her. Oh, she's a fierce fighter. So? You telling me he needs a sword? He could punch through her sword. He'll just punch right through everything. So what? He doesn't need her. He doesn't need Batman either. He will not need the Justice League. If you give us 1970 Superman, if you give us that Chris Reeves Superman, he won't need the Justice League. You're going to have to depower him just to make the group look better. You're going to have to. Especially if you have him fighting against weird levels of villains. It won't make any sense. The tension will be gone. The whole point of tension is that you're feeling like they're going to lose. Superman will not be there in time. Good. You want those nail biters. You want to know, like, oh, they got to fight a whole plethora of parademons. They got to deal with Steppenwolf, who's actually fighting against Wonder Woman and Aquaman evenly, tossing all over the place. They have no way of doing anything. They have the rest of the terraforming. You have freaking Cyborg trying to pull apart the Unity and not destroy the rest of the planet. And Superman's not there. Hell yeah. But then when Superman shows up, it turns the whole tide of the damn battle. Because that's Superman. It is. But he's not going to take care of the whole thing. And that's the reasoning why you can't just make Superman uber powerful. You can't. You got to give a basis to why he's the way he is. A lot of it made no sense in Justice League. That's why the Snyder Cut is going to be 10 tons better because it will fill in the gaps to make you understand, like, okay, well, if he comes back, why the heck would he need the Justice League? How the hell did he know they were there? How did he know they were in Russia? How do you know to go back and go get his suit in there? How do you know his suit was in freaking in the scout ship? Someone had to tell him. All right, it got over an hour. I'm sorry. So like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. I'll try to have another video out. I will try to have a video out with Hawk. We're gonna discuss this, and I'll get his opinion about everything. And that will not be out until a little bit later. Um, but I'm gonna try to get some. I'm gonna try to get some stuff together. I'm gonna talk about a few other things, especially the Robert Pattinson quote about that Batman is not a hero. You know, there's a lot of things I want to talk about that. It's gonna probably be another rant. I'm gonna talk about it with Hawk too. That's probably gonna be my rant. Um, we're gonna try to get that out as soon as we can. Also, I have not heard very much about the Snyder Cut, but um, a lot of people are talking about it's not gonna come on HBO Max, but you know that's fine. So, uh, thanks for coming. You guys have a good one. Bye.